Hey guys, welcome back to Paper Made Me Do It. I just finished up a pretty massive weekend project. I did a redo and kind of a reorganization of my office and creative space. I thought it would be fun to share with you guys, so if that's something that you're interested in, just keep watching. Okay, so this space was intended to be a very small bedroom. So it has one door, and this is the border of that door. So when you walk into the room, to the immediate left, I have some of my son's artwork on the wall, a little hanging organizer, and this shelf here to the left is basically all of my sewing supplies and storage. And then I have two desks in here. So on the left side of the room, this desk is primarily what I consider my work desk, even though there are some journaling supplies in the area. I use this desktop when I work from home, and I use the printer for work and personal. So on top of this desk, I have several notebook covers that are not in use right now, or at least not in the daily rotation, as well as some of my journaling Bibles, and then a Bluetooth speaker where I listen to music in here, and some more traveler's notebooks, a junk journal, just some other notebooks not in daily use. That wooden round box in the top corner is a Wisconsin cheese box, and it is full of old photographs right now. So this is my printer where I do my printables for journaling and work stuff. This is for work. And then the three classic-y boxes, as well as this little tray, are just full to the gills with mostly paper type ephemera and some tags, things of that nature. They probably need some further organization. I didn't really touch them much over the weekend. And that mason jar has all my Blackwing pencils in it. There's my desktop with a calculator in the back. And I have a shredder here for work because I work in the medical field, so I have to shred most of my paperwork from HIPAA reasons, and that's just a dryer resting on top of it that I use whenever I need to speed up the drying process for watercolor paint projects. Even though these look like 4 drawers, they're actually 2 long drawers that have hanging files running lengthwise, so these are all used for work. And a real quick comment about this furniture, just to give you an idea. I bought this years ago at a store that sold used office furniture. So this was initially used, I believe, in an attorney's office, but it had a very kind of 80s office vibe to it. And so with a few fairly easy and inexpensive tweaks, I think it looks much nicer now than it did when I brought it home. So on the doors, I just taped them off. They used to be solid cherry. I taped off those squares with masking tape and painted the centers with black chalkboard paint. And then I bought a roll of cork at a local craft store and just glued that cork to the back to break it up. It was just all the same finish of wood initially. And then it initially had no hardware on it at all. And I think that played a lot into that kind of 80s office look. So I just picked up these knobs and the drawer hardware at Lowe's, and my husband screwed those into the wood for me. So just by doing those few little quick projects, it kind of made the desk look a little more modern, I think. And so I have one window in the room, some more artwork hanging above it. That's my little craft cart, and I still need to go through all these old ringed inserts on the bottom shelf, but these are mostly pouches there. And then This hanging shelf came from Pottery Barn. Had it several years. And this is the other desk on the other side of the room that I use more for journaling and just crafting and creativity. So this is now my little haven. It was a disaster before this project, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the closet. But on the left side, I just have some more paper type ephemera, a few paintbrushes, and my water jar for watercolor. This little metal cart, or not cart, but little storage drawers, came from Hobby Lobby a long while ago. And so I have, you know, tiny items stored in there. And then this old distress tray, I used to have flat, and a friend suggested trying it upright and using it as shelving. So that worked out really well. I'm trying, as you can see, to just take advantage of every square inch and go up and not out, which leaves me more, you know, space, workable space here on the desk. So this is my little Superior Labor Petite tote, and it has the traveler's notebook that I'm currently in and a few supplies to go with it. Now we made some tweaks to this desk as well. It came as a set with the other one, so it had that same kind of 80s vibe. We added the same hardware on the drawers, and the desktop on this side had a little damage to it. Not really damage, more just normal wear, but it was not very like aesthetically pleasing. And at the time, I did not feel like tackling a refinishing project and doing the whole sand, stain, varnish, finish process. So what we did instead was we took a piece of foam board, the exact same size as the tabletop or the desktop, and I covered it with some upholstery fabric. So you can see this is just fabric, and we glued it with spray adhesive to the foam board, and then had a piece of glass cut that's the same size as the tabletop. So it's really nice, and it kind of breaks up the room so it's not so much dark wood. And then these shelves were a major, just artwork on the top. These shelves were a major part of the project because they are new. Friend of mine had showed me hers, and we were talking about them, and I told her that I had looked at them several years ago. I want to say it was maybe like almost 10 years ago, and I passed on them at the time and always regretted it, because since then, every time I've checked the Pottery Barn website and searched for shelving, they never show up on the website. But I decided to do a Google search and see if I could find something similar, and these exact shelves came up. So I was so ecstatic that I was able to get them after all these years. But I learned that Pottery Barn refers to them as cubby organizers. So if you search the word shelf or shelves, then they don't come up in that search. So if you search for cubby organizers, Pottery Barn, they should show up. If not, if you're interested, let me know in the comments and I can try to find the exact link and leave it in the description below. But you can see that I've just kind of did a little storage on the top shelf, and then each of these cubbies is like somewhere around 5 inches, and it's almost a perfect square for storage. So I've got my fountain pen, inks, and some room to grow here for more inks. Some wooden stamps, and then on this side just kind of some ephemera in the middle, a few tools, wax seals, and then washi on the bottom. Now I did a major culling of my washi collection when deciding what to put in these shelves, so I only kept my favorite washis for now, and each of these shelves has 2 stacks. But the great thing about this is there is room to grow, because there's room for 2 more complete stacks behind each of these. So even though it looks full from the front now, I could theoretically double the amount of washi and still have storage in these shelves. So really happy with how they turned out. And then just have a couple of rulers here, my little frequently used washi roll that came from Galen Leather. This leather desk mat that you've seen in the back of most of my journaling videos, it also came from Galen Leather. And I found my art mat when we had to move the desk away from the wall this weekend. It had slipped between the desk and the wall and had been missing for probably a couple years. These little lights I had initially bought specifically for filming, because as you can see, the light in this room is not the best. So when I sit here and lean over this workspace, you can see the situation with the shadows. So initially bought these little lights off of Amazon with filming specifically in mind. But now that I've used them, they work so well and the light is so beneficial that I just leave them out and use them all the time now. So even if I'm not filming a video, if I'm working on any project here, I use the lights. So it's kind of a trade-off. I have, you know, the cords going across my desk here, but the quality of the light is worth it to me. So I'll just show you, if I flip the switch over here, what a difference that makes. So they are pretty bright. And then my little mechanical arm that holds my phone when I'm filming. This is vintage typewriter. And this little shelf holds journaling cards. Got my Sticky Club organizer here with stickers, and these 3 Galen Leather boxes. I just cannot bear to throw these boxes away. They're so sturdy and well made, and they're pretty too. The way they do their packaging is so nice. And you can see that they're pretty substantial boxes. So I've kept them to use for storage. And the bottom one holds stickers. The middle one holds full sheets of printables, and this one holds like printables that have already been cut out but are too large to go in those tiny little drawers over there. They're stored in here. And then this was a little craft project that I did. This was just a white cardboard box, and I painted the edges gold with acrylic paint and then cut out and glued some scrapbooking paper to all of the edges. And so it is quite full, and it's also just little bits and pieces of like ephemera. And then these kind of, I call them chicken wire shelves. They came from Hobby Lobby, I believe, several years ago. That little wire hanger came from Target. And this closet was what actually spurred the entire project. I'm so thankful that we did it. Previously, this closet was used solely by my husband, and he had it full to the gills with all of his things. So I had no storage in this closet. So if you can imagine, he ended up offering to relocate his things to another closet in the house so I could have this closet for storage. And you can see it has 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves, and then a large area at the bottom here. And each of these shelves is really deep. They're like 2 feet deep. So I've treated them essentially like 2 shelves and kind of layered and doubled my storage. So if you can imagine, every single thing that was in, or that it is in this closet now, plus about at least 3, maybe 4 garbage bags of things that I threw away this weekend. All of this stuff used to be on this desk. And other than my work surface here in the middle, everything else was just piles piles of all of this stuff. And so it was getting to be fairly stressful and cluttered and just not enjoyable for me to come in this room because it was so overstuffed. So you can imagine how happy this makes me to have this open surface space here now on this desk. I'm so thankful that he let me take over this closet. So that's that. And then we've made a complete circle. And so this is the door. And this is just a shoe type organizer that hangs over the door. I did not touch it this weekend. It is stocked full with just crafty type supplies, paint, things like that. But what I did do is order basically another duplicate version of this organizer this weekend from Amazon. But it has solid canvas pockets and a canvas background, just kind of a cream natural canvas. And so I'm looking forward to that coming in. I'm just gonna put everything in the same place in the new organizer. And I've had everything in these pockets for so many years that I basically just know where everything is. So the benefit of having the clear pockets, obviously, is you can see where things are and not have to dig for them. Now that I kind of just know where everything is without having to see it, I think that the canvas pockets will be more aesthetically pleasing because they're not clear. So most of that clutter, you know, if you can imagine the pockets being solid, I think it'll look nicer and just look less cluttered. And, you know, functionally it won't change because it's the same exact size. It'll just be canvas instead of clear plastic. So that is it, guys. If y'all have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I just thought it would be fun to share my space. And now I'm going to dig in and do some journaling and probably destroy this whole area. I hope y'all are having a good day. I hope everyone's staying well and enjoying your journals. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.